And welcome back for the clash of the Spanish giants. GIANTX versus KOI is the matchup full of history from Spain today. Giants, one of the longest standing Spanish orgs with 7 regional titles dating back to as early as 2012, playing in the EU LCS for multiple years until leaving before the 2019 season. And the Superliga team had already been established in the region before and then already had many rivalries in Spain, including Movistar Riders, who took themselves 3 titles. Another rival was Mad Lions, who dominated in 2018 with ex-Giants player Whirlib amongst other ADC stars. Nemesis, Crowny, self-made, went on to win EU Masters, and Giants returned to the ADC in 2024 with the merge of Excel, whilst 2025 is the first time we see the combination of Movistar and KOI in the ADC. So that's a lot of mix and match. Complicated genealogic tree, I feel,
it's
but
like the Voltron of Spain.
Yeah, for real. But like a lot of familiar faces as well. Even the Rat King.
Oh my God, who is that guy?
I actually played for Movistar Riders, losing to Mad Lions.
How did that go?
Oh man, we lost in game 5. It was one of my first competitive experiences, and I was heartbroken.
Wow. That could have made a competitive career. Imagine if you won that game.
Imagine if you won that game. My trajectory would go right up. No, but a lot of history here. Obviously, I think Movistar are one of the organizations I hold deepest to my heart, because it was my first official team. I played for them. They took so good care of me when I was in Spain playing for them, and I really value that time, and I really wish them to get all the success they deserve. Coming into Giants here is that main rival that goes back to like 2015 almost, and they used to have so much history, and it's so exciting to see this game.
The darkest timeline of EU LCS, I feel. When I think of Giants, what they were back then, what they are today, and the fact that we have returning orgs also in the ADC. But when you think about these two teams, regardless of the change of names that they had, for me, it's the fans that resonate to this. I'm wondering, which side do you think they will go today? Because Nymaera last week, it was like everyone siding for whichever Spanish team was playing. So now having the clash on the Rift today.
It's crazy because we obviously we had like a lot of like the Carmine Core versus these matchups as well. So sometimes that bigs up some of that rivalry. But it did feel like it was good nature between the Spanish fan bases. So I'm looking to see whether that splits a little bit, or whether they'll be just happy and be happy to have a party between these two teams.
Either how, we're gonna have a lot of passion in this game. Everyone wants the bragging rights to beat the other one, and there's a lot of staff between these teams that know each other and like to joke with each other that we beat you that time, we beat you that time. So a lot of things on stake here.
Of course, the teams and the fans will be here to support those teams. There's a watch party actually in the GX facilities in Spain. And I'm just wondering what is going to happen with the GX, honestly, because 3-0 from last week. Oh, look at them.
Oh, that's so cool.
Let's go. They often have viewing parties, honestly, actually. I just love the support from the fans. Some of them were here in the studio last week. But yeah, celebrating the 3-0 for the org. What do we think is going to come this week? Because it was Genjix last week, honestly, watching them play.
I mean, they came in hitting the ground running, and that's a good thing. They came in together as 5 players who haven't played together before, and they synced up really, really well. But not the strongest opponents from what we've seen from week 1 so far. They have this much here. They have G2 as well in this week as well. Lots of good stuff for a starting point. Not the finished product. You've got a slight head start on some other teams, but we already saw Movistar KOI be very, very successful in their own aggressive plays too. I actually think Movistar KOI maybe need to dial things back a little bit and not get soaked into the madness like they did against Carmine Core. That was to their detriment. But I think both of these teams have a good first week to build off of. Yeah,
Movistar KOI actually being my favorites to win the Winter Split. I put them as the winners. I have a lot of faith in this team. I think they have the right amount of explosivity and just individual talent on the roster. I think they have so many star players across, or future star players, I'm going to say. And I really hope to see them snowball this into an eventual title, and I have a lot of faith in them.
One player that you expect to shine from both lineups here?
I think Lot is going to have a really good game here from GX, and I think Supa is going to step up.
I mean, I love this mid lane matchup. I think that Jojo, now he's fixed his DPI on his mouse, going up against Jackie's as well. This mid lane matchup, I think actually both of them have a chance to shine. They're both playing playmakers. If they both draft an interactive matchup, I want both of them to shine. Should be a great matchup.
I know that Jackie's got us used to making predictions, actually, from the side of GX last week. He nailed all of them. And today he said that they will go deathless, 28-minute game, if I remember correctly, to which Supa said, well, yeah, we'll see about this. So what is it going to be about?
I love the trash talk before the game, at least. I don't like when people trash talk after the game, but before the game, I love it coming from Jackies. I think it's such a great personality to have, such a great rookie. Oh, he seems to have a...
That's the pentakill. That is the Nemesis Pentakill.
That's the Nemesis Pentakill, I remember that. That was right before, like, he had signed with Fnatic, and this was his last tournament with Mad Lions, and he got a Pentakill in the deciding game. That was a great moment.
I love that we were just jump scared by that, much like they were jump scared by the casting.
I mean,
God damn.
yeah, Kassadin is scary.
Yeah.
Scary champion.
Run, Antonio! Oh, he's coming, he's coming,
God.
he's coming in. One Rift Step, 2 Rift Step, and it's gonna be a Pentakill.
He had his one split in the LEC, and now we just have to dunk it up with these replays. I'm sorry, Antonio, buddy. I didn't realize that was coming.
Yeah, walk down memory lane ages ago that play was. So let's see what our teams bring on the Rift today in our Spanish rivalries. Casters, take it away.
We will. We will indeed, because in recency, GIANTX is sitting 3-0 after week 1. The only undefeated team in the LEC is myself, Asterix, and Vedius take you through. We went matchy-matchy today because it is Spain versus Spain, and we thought, you know, supporting that rivalry here, obviously we're dressed to impress in the same way.
Yes, we deliberately did that, didn't we?
We got dressed, as in people dressed us, and we just happened to look the same. Also, big shout out, Vedius, you know, you didn't get to cast with me much last year, end of last year. I think you avoided me on purpose, so it's nice that you kind of got stuck with me. No other choice except to run the last 3 games back.
I wouldn't say stuck with you. It's always a pleasure.
You can't leave. So.
Listen to the thoughts that come to your mind.
That was the most rubbish compliment I've ever heard. I don't believe a word of what you just said.
Experience. We're going to be jumping into draft.
We are.
And Azia is going to be taken away from Jojo. Now, when speaking to the American commentators during the World Championship, something they told me that was a common strategy over in North America was target banning Jojo and also just heavily ganking him. And we did see that come to fruition in his second game last week, where they ended up falling short against KC. But I feel as though now that the team's gotten a little bit used to it, they've got more experience on stage, I'm curious as to what they've brought out for us this week as GIANTX, the 3-0 undefeated team, as you highlighted, looking to remove the Zyra from Elyoya's pool. He's always been known for playing a lot of AP jungle champions. They're going to take that away along with the Kalista from Supa. This does mean that Varus, Corki, strong first pick options available.
We're also in a bit of a skirmishing meta, and when I also think of Elyoya, I think of things like Xin Zhao that we've seen in the past. So keep that in the back of your mind as we wait for that final ban. Kalista usually banned on the red side. Are they going to take away that Corki that has been in the first couple of rotations already today and is still such a big priority pick in this second patch?
Maokai going to be joining the list. We know here in Europe, Maokai and Sejuani continue to remain at the top of the table when it comes to priority. Yep. Maokai largely because of the flexibility. First pick K'Sante for GIANTX.
Lot was great on that, and he's actually only, excuse me, I'm thinking of the other side. It's actually Myrwn who's only played it. Now, as far as I know, Mel is actually a global ban at the moment and not actually enabled, so I got worried. I'm like, hang on a minute, I got told that was not playable.
Bit of a cheeky hover there from Myrwn as they're flexing through their options, but very surprised to see the K'Sante first pick. We know that Ambessa can be a pretty solid answer into the matchup, but it does suggest the GIANTX could be thinking about a lane swap. And Hysterics, when we were watching GIANTX play last week, their third game, incredibly well executed lane swap. I feel like that in terms of execution, they've demonstrated one of the cleanest demonstrations of what you could do in the lane swap last week at the very least. And with the K'Sante priority, I wonder if they'll look to replicate that as Divine locked in. We've also been seeing that a lot, not just here, but around the world. The abilities are locked down, and if they pair that up with the Ambessa, then they'll have a lot of potential lockdown onto the AD carry.
That or a strong mid jungle, let's see. Also the Corki, a side note, a pick that has always been picked in the first couple of rotations. Strongest AD carry right now outside of the Varus, which also I'm going to float over to you, could be a suggestion for GIANTX here
100%.
To give to Noah again.
Certainly could be. I wonder if Ezreal is also something that they're thinking about. We know that Noah is an incredibly proficient Ezreal.
Oh, yeah.
We've been seeing it a bunch in the current meta. Against dive compositions, it just has that extra bit of safety. And it also just, as we mentioned, feeds into the comfort that Noah's known for. They can also pair that up with something like the Rell for Jun, something that he's been playing a bunch of. Maybe even Poppy could be a good angle here. There's the ability to flex that Poppy into both jungle and support if they wanted to lock it in early as well. But it depends what their priorities are, because remember that this Corki could always be sent into the mid lane. So maybe Jackies wants to grab something for himself.
So let's see, again, support in question. I like that Betty mentioned the Rell for you all at home. A lot of people are saying that the Alistar is no problem. It can be run into it, but who really cares? As This is another big pick in Europe right now as well. The Sejuani style of compositions are returning once again here with closer by its side.
I mean, GIANTX have gotten a very solid front-to-back option for themselves. Sejuani plus K'Sante is so reliable, and with Ezreal on the backline against this dive that very much we were expecting. We talked about the Ambessa. We've already seen a combination of this from Fnatic earlier in the day. The backline dive threat that this combination has is lethal.
And Vetti's going to ask you, I mean, again, Ambessa can also go into the mid lane as well. Corki can go AD, can also go mid. So right now, KOI are also playing with a bit of flexibility in their draft as they take away the Yone here, which could pair nicely, thanks to Jackies who's already picked it up before.
Taking away the Yone heavily suggests to me that they are thinking about a Corki mid on the side of KOI.
Great suggestion.
Kai'Sa being removed is something that you would often see as an answer into Ezreal because of the scaling. And both sides suggesting heavily that this Corki is definitely going mid, and this bot lane is yet to be locked in for KOI. I'm curious as to what direction they go, and Varus would be the likely option, unless GIANTX look to try and remove that from the pool.
Does that suggest Alistar on 4 here?
Could very well do. Yeah, you're completely right. Sylas would have a lot of great ultimates to steal on the side of KOI. And Jackies, we know him as a playmaker, right? He loves to play these style of champions that give him a lot of individual agency. Not that he's deliberately avoiding the mages or anything. We've seen him bring out the Victor already this split, but Yone and Sylas definitely fit into his pool. As the Orianna ban suggests that GIANTX still not entirely sure where this Corki's going to go, but with the cheeky hover of 80 carries going out from Supa, definitely leaning towards that mid lane role.
If this does get locked in again, it confirms what the band's set up to do. Something that we've been harping on for the past couple of minutes as well. Let's just see. But no, it's a bit of a ruse. They just get rid of a good pairing with Sejuani. They get a good pairing themselves of the mid-jungle now locked in.
I mean, it's a very powerful mid-jungle. Very effective as well against some of the dashes come through. They're very much expecting the Rell. I wonder if they do pivot to the Leona to have a slightly easier time. We talked about the Poppy earlier as well. They're considering all of their options right now, and they're going to be locking that one in. I think it is a great response to the Vi and the Ambessa, who just have so much mobility. I wonder what they're going to lock in finally for their mid lane. It's going to be the Akali. I'm really excited to see this. I'm a big fan of the champion on the current patch. It pairs up nicely with Sejuani. Melee synergizes with the passive that Sejuani provides. Easy potential setup. Also, nice diving when you've got Poppy wanting to dive in, K'Sante wanting to dive in, Sejuani wanting to dive in. Akali loves it when she has champions that can play with her. Myrwn on the side of KOI, they've got a lot of pick. A lot of single target damage, the ability to lock someone down and obliterate them from the fight. It's going to be difficult for Akali to necessarily execute when playing up against this Taliyah and the amount of chain CC. But the question is, do you want to invest it on that Akali in contrast to the Ezreal, who's going to be sitting on the back line and dishing out damage?
And you know what excites me the most about this is actually support jungle pairings in this game as well, because Braum mixed with Vi, Sejuani mixed with Poppy as well. I feel like Jun and Alvaro are big highlights coming into this game. Vetti's just smiling because he knew we were going to talk about Jun on the other side going in. Is there any trash talk? We getting any? Do you
Without
have good
hesitation.
DPI?
No one said the first thing. Do you have
I needed to know.
That's funny.
Is that Jojo replying, hopefully? Yes, indeed.
The good luck, have funs have come through.
Welcome. Side note, GIANTX undefeated, as you can see on the top of your screen. This is a big matchup considering that GX just recently came through SK Rogue, and people are saying, yeah, that's not a hard strength of schedule, but they beat down KC, and that was their first real test to show that they deserve to be at the top of the table.
And remember that in this format, the best of one stage is somewhat ruthless. And losing early can add a lot of stress and pressure, but winning early can do you wonders. 5 wins locks you a spot in playoffs. 4 wins almost guarantees it. And so GIANTX putting themselves at a 3-0 spot with 6 games left to play, they're primed and poised to be one of the teams securing that playoff spot. Still a lot of games still left to be played, but I think to the surprise of many, seeing GIANTX come out the gate swinging like they did in week 1.
Now, I want to quickly rise and talk about Jun. I think the best support of week number 1, and a reason why I was getting excited for support and jungle coming into this opening game. Well, it's game 1 for us. Game 3, of course, for everyone in the day. And Jun coming in on this Poppy with Halo, Blades, and Ignite. I'm really looking forward to what he can set up with Closer in this game. when Jun's engages were just so clean as you expected on him in Fnatic last year.
I think that he was just so impressive in the first week. The way that he was able to find so many successful engages, his ability to turn games around as well, were just phenomenal. And I think for many fans of this bot lane, to see them start off the beginning of winter with so much success was an absolute joy to see. One of the crucial things, notice that bot lane proximity at 8 minutes.
Yeah.
That is low. My man is roaming a lot. A part of that is because the team is lane swapping as well. But he just likes to be active on the map. And when we were going back through VODs, we noticed how well he was working with Closer to make things happen on the map.
He really was. And again, Closer coming into this roster after his year or end of year in KC, and it's just fitting together. I think it's something that either Nymaera or Finn said on desk, sorry for the paraphrase of a quote, is that this roster is just kind of come together in pieces and looks so damn good. Now, looking at this game and bringing everyone into the forefront, no lane swap. Yippee, that's great. You know, we're getting sick of lane swaps, and I especially am. So we get pretty standard lanes here for one of the first times, or at least for a consistent time. This top lane right now looking pretty good, and bot in the 2v2, pretty standardized so far.
We didn't talk much about it, but the Braum lock-in for KOI at the end of their draft, I think is great into a composition that loves to really get in your face. So many melees as well as Jim knocks back Alvaro here.
Yeah, Winter's Bite sets up for concussive blows. Noah actually Valkyried in, excuse me, that was Supa. Noah's the one who takes it in the end as another concussive blow set goes through.
Remember that Noah running the TP doesn't have the defensive summoner spell, but should be able to rejoin the bot lane should any poor trades come through.
Boy, good lacerate there from Myrwn. Maximum damage out, and a lot. Takes a lot.
Yeah, I was speaking to Finn about this matchup earlier, and it can definitely be quite challenging for the Cassante. You've very much got to play around the cooldowns of this Ambessa, and it's why many top laners like picking it into the matchup. The top jungle duo as well of Vi and Ambessa just has so much lockdown and so much damage. Once they hit level 6, it is lethal.
They're just talking about it on the desk, right? Like, it's so broken because you guarantee the setup for Ambessa, which is a very thin line on that public execution, which otherwise can whiff quite easily.
They can. So, in the meanwhile, the top side of the map going in favor of Myrwn, but credit to Lot, he's going to be keeping up in farm. In fact, he's going to get ahead, assuming he can get a few of these CS underneath the tower. He will lose a few, but he's not going to be too upset about that. We take a look in the mid lane as well. We're seeing a lot more electrocute Akalis. I'm a big fan. I think that going the electrocute into the storm surge gives so much burst that a lot of people still just aren't used to from the champion, and she becomes a menace when it comes to just executing a single target. But in the early laning phase, it's going to be rough. Taliyah has so much more wave clear, she has a lot of poke, and you can already see that CS starting to mount in favor of Jojo.
Jojo just forcing Jackie's back. He has TP, so there's no problem. Jojo's already used his as well, so that's why it looks like there's a slight advantage in the lane. And Scrub spawning in a minute, Dragons already spawned. Now, side note for everyone out there, if you are just tuning into the new patch, reminder, First Blood is no longer part of the feats. It's 3 kills, the first 3, to be specific as well. That's one of the taglines.
And also remember, if you've been a long-time LEC viewer, we are now playing on the live patch.
Yep.
Right, which, I mean, I'm still getting used to. Typically, we would be a patch behind, but now you get to see basically the pros playing what you get to play at home as well. A very cool change, and these first 3 kills are going to be extremely important. We'll see where they fall, as for the time being, nothing too crazy has happened. Both junglers just been prioritizing clearing, providing cover, but there could be an opportunity here in the top lane.
It's only level 5, but it doesn't matter because public execution lands onto Lot. He puts his all out down and tries to get out, flashes away, a good lacerate to get that Drake Hound step. But the Drake is now out. It's Lot who runs back with his flash in tow.
Elyoya spending a lot of time hovering around the top side of the map, trying to keep this pressure down onto Lot. He's already invested the TP, but mainly it's as an opportunity to set up for the grubs. Jojo getting a quick base through means that it's actually the Akali that has the priority in mid lane. Elyoya's alone, but he does steal one away, and he should be happy with that.
I mean, if he gets out, he will, because perfect execution is so easy. Elyoya used his escape tool in. 1 grub for the steal for First Blood. Let's question if that's worth with Jackie's now ahead.
I mean, it's a debate, right? Because obviously the First Blood doesn't give you the feats of strength. It's the first 3 kills, but giving that kill over to an Akali early on is a very dangerous thing to do, because the early laning phase is where you want to punish her the most, where she's the most susceptible to potentially being dived due to getting poked out in the matchup, and is where she has the least amount of damage. So Handing that kill over could be detrimental. Jackie's starting off the game strong. The good news is, at the very least, Elyoya steals away a grub.
Because I think Jackie's has started off the split strong. I feel like Jackie's and Noah have been, my two rising stars. Obviously, they're the carries, but, Jackie's someone we criticized a lot last year, getting caught out in the mid game. He was a bit of a detriment to GIANTX as well in his debut year, but with a really good start to Winter, it is nice to see this Akali in a leading spot. Hextech Alternator is the starting pick-off, by the way, while Jojo went back for a tier, and Lucid Boots, while KOI are now back on the map, looking towards this dragon.
I think that Jackie's, as you rightly said... Ooh, hang on a second, Jun.
Is Jun going to be the one caught out? Let's see. W reaction time would be good. Elyoya's on him. Pops the ulti anyway, and in he goes. Deep is the enemy jungle for KOI, but they don't care. Concussive blows set up the ulti from closer. They're bringing in Jackie's again. It's already a quick trade. A 1-for-1, but look at the health bars. Jackie's just cleaving around the fight. A permafrost, a concussive blow down again, and Jackie's will be dropping to Supa. There's a shutdown. A 2-for-2 as Noah now joins in, but doesn't want to take the play.
Alvaro getting relatively low. He connects the Q onto Noah, and that's going to force him to arcane shift away to safety. As you rightly said, a play that was initiated by KOI ends up being a 2-for-2, but crucially, Jackie's got 2 kills in that exchange. This Akali is now 3-1-0, and it starts off with them trying to catch out Jun. Notice that the wave hasn't been pushed in yet from mid lane, so it's easy for the Akali to collapse. There is a health advantage, but a lot of space is bought thanks to the flash coming through from Jun. Then Closer comes over the wall to provide additional peel. That initial 1-for-1 is a nice start, but Supa is the one that arrives early. The Ezreal comes through, but it doesn't really connect onto anyone. And Akali, thanks to the Shroud, was left largely untouched in the skirmish, but then once it ran out, Supa was at the very least able to get the kill back, and that shutdown is better than nothing.
A quick reminder for you at the bottom again. Aether Wisp also picked up for Jackie's in that last play too. So, yeah, getting really close to the first item. And Vedius, our resident Akali main right now, grinning a little bit here with the early gamers.
I mean, he's going to get Storm Surge very soon.
Oh, yeah.
900 gold is the combination cost with these two components. And Merc Treads on the horizon as well.
Yep.
Once you get Merc Treads plus Storm Surge, with the Electrocute early on, it's a lot of damage.
Yep.
And again, like we saw last week, Kalist didn't expect the damage. And it's something, it's something that that can be very scary to do. And now Jojo roaming top, has the ulti, no flash available on Lot, but he does have the ulti available himself. Respecting the potential of the roam. Lot, again, demonstrating great awareness on the top side of the map. He was someone that impressed us in week 1, and with so much pressure being thrown towards him with very little jungle support himself, he's managing the pressure well.
And he's managing it well when he's got a plethora on the champion pool. Jack's Rumble was the first week, by the way, is, I think, more important to note. Elyoya is on the bottom side of the map now.
Good ulti there from Noah, thinning out the wave as much as he can, recognizing that they are on the weak side. The threat of a dive is real. Elyoya can't really look to pull it off. He's primarily there to act as cover so that Supa and Alvaro can get that push in, and the resets come through. Itemization not yet completed for anyone. A few components getting completed, but now the swap is going to come through from KOI. They know that the grubs are spawning in about 35 seconds. Jojo has the TP available, and they're going to be slightly ahead of GIANTX in the play just because Jackie's hasn't had an opportunity to reset. I wonder if he wanted to catch that extra wave so that he could base for the Merc Treads as well as the Storm Surge. We'll see when he gets back.
One.
All right, he's just going to get the Storm Surge, which is still fine. Good upgrade to have. Plate secured for Jojo again because he was slightly ahead of the play in terms of their resets. But now KOI matching the bot lane of GIANTX in the mids, ready to contest for this next grub spawn.
You see the power of Corki right now. The wave clear once he hits 6 is just so immense, even with just Sheen as well as the Phage. Super as he clears out the wave and they move first. KOI get a bit of vision in, but see Closer in vision at the time being. Control ward down, and after they clear that, they regain control.
Reset comes through from Jojo, wanting to replenish his mana. Maybe he can get an item upgrades. Will he have enough gold?
Lost chapter.
Going to be the Lost Chapter. Not quite a fully completed item, but he wasn't gifted 3 kills in the early game. So once again, mid-wave pushed in. KOI playing around that priority well. Top side of the map going in favor of Myrwn 2. It's actually going to be the one to start off the grubs. It will be KOI. Elyoya tanking that up for now, and this is where the dance begins.
Elyoya's getting a little bit low. Gets a little bit of shielding coming through from the E, but the poke begins as Supa. Going to take some himself. The engage being built up. Jun also has the disengage here as teleport from GIANTX will make this into a full-blown fight. The top laners are battling it out, as you can see, and GIANTX have just brute forced off it, especially since Lot is taking on Myrwn in a 1-for-1. He flashes, and Myrwn has to burn his own. Lot again continuing to impress as Jun is getting in the way. The flash shove ignite. Jun, you nasty devil, making sure it's light work.
A cheeky play there from Jun. Myrwn was not expecting the flank to come through. He will lose his life and the grubs will be conceded. I think KOI said, you know, we can't afford to fight this Akali right now. We have to recognize that we're weaker. We got one grub, so we'll deny them the full set, which means that that feed of strength will not be a contributor. But they also got the TP out from Jackies, and now there is that advantage from Jojo. This could be huge when setting up for things like the next dragon, or just playing to the sidelines. And as I say that, Jojo immediately uses it to the top side of the map to catch that wave, given that it was fully stacked and underneath the tower, they didn't want it to go to waste. So no TP advantage anymore.
No.
I feel like that must conclude that MKOI is saying, you know what, we just weren't strong enough to take that fight. We'll be happy with one grub for now.
Nothing to fight for until minute 30 anyway. We've got Dragon coming up, number 2 here. That will spawn the Hextech Drake, and we're impressed. So far, the early game of GIANTX, once again, it feels like it's a trend now. Jun is everywhere. And I feel like I said this on his Rell games, Vedius. I feel like I said this on his other Poppy game as well. Jun is just controlling the map. And him and Closer, the sync up here is what makes me like this new GIANTX a lot, with how cohesive they are as a unit in the first 15-20 minutes of the game.
I mean, it's a awkward game state for KOI because they have to be very cautious of Jackies moving forward. When they kind of take up the straight 4 versus 4, you could see how even it was. MKOI had the vision control around the top side of the river, the Corki has greater push in the mid lane, and they also can match the poke this early on, because Ezreal isn't as scary until you've got a few of those items underneath your belt. But then the moment Akali TP's in, we got to back off, guys. We got to disengage, we got to get away. And bear in mind, they're not running the exhaust either on the Braum, so there's no way really to lock her down unless they can connect things like the Taliyah E or the Braum Q, or like, unless they really fully commit the Vi ult and the Ambessa ult, right? We'll see how things progress. It's now 20 seconds until the Dragon spawn. We return to a similar position. Quick reset comes through from Jojo. He's going to get his first item. And, mid-wave push once again for KOI. Very similar pattern to what we saw around the grubs. First on the objective will be KOI. Elyoya looking to start this one off, as Jackies actually has an avenue on the bot side of the map, given that he will get access to that bot wave first.
That push and level 11 as well, so second part of the ultimate that comes in. As Jackies replenishes his energy, GIANTX are looking to collapse and sandwich down. With those teleports not yet channeled, Dragon still goes down over to KOI. The ulti misses from Jun, and they target the Akali. Straight in with the ulti to flash away. The shuriken flip now expiring as well. Elyoya wants to get out of there, so he's bypassed, or at least bypasses as Alvaro has to flash. Narrowly averting crisis, but the Dragon still secured.
I mean, well played there by KOI. They handled the Akali very well. They quickly took the Dragon. They were able to disengage. It cost them the summoners on Alvaro, but they got the flash out from Jackies too. And ultimately, they walk away with a clean objective. Advantage gained for KOI.
It's something, especially when you said this early game was a lot of fear factor rising because of that mid laner especially. They do get a summoner out of Jackies, which might quell some of that beast for the next couple of minutes.
Jun on the roam once more. Sets his sights on the top lane. Question mark ping comes down. Probably asking, is his flash up? They should know that it's not. Myrwn, though, has that ward of safety. Lot is very low. I think Jun's priority is mainly just to help Lot, as Alvaro looks to try and match.
Not too far forward, even closer things about jumping in. Note that Herald's spawning in about 30 seconds, so top side of the map becomes ever so precious. So you're just going to back away, and looks like he's just going to go for his Merc Tread, so he has that for what seems to be the upcoming fight for top. I mean, Herald these days just always fought over. Like,
I'm already a big fan of the introduction of these new objectives. I know for solo queue it can feel overwhelming and stressful, but for pro play, chaining objective into objective, it feels like the pros always have things to focus on and think about.
True.
And both these teams feel very locked in around these objectives. I'm very much expecting the voracious Atakan into the GAs, to the surprise of many, I would say.
Every day. Will we ever get Ruinous? What a question. This is a setup from KOI, and they actually found Jun. The wall's up. Jun gets poked down to oblivion. In goes Noah into melee range, but he's doing good poke while Jackies gets taken down by Jojo. Big move from KOI. As now with the Weaver's wall out, Noah's still the target. The poke still ranging out, and Noah ends up being the double. KOI with a swift move, taking that play into their hands.
Beautifully executed by KOI. They turn their attention onto Jun, knowing how squishy he is in the early game. And then the turn onto Jackie's was just as quick, committing the Vi ultimate, following up with Jojo. This is the lockdown potential of this Taliyah and Vi. And they just eliminate Jackie's before he even has an opportunity to play.
Herald's such a big tempo lead as GIANTX trying to get the remnants of the members. It's only Alvaro. He'll be able to stand behind someone shortly, but the W stops him until now. Gets over the wall, gets out, and, you know, first turret still not claimed, but a Herald to do that for KOI now in this game. Well, or bot.
We turn our attention back to the fight. Again, they turn their attention onto Jun, knowing they have the numbers advantage. 4 people here. And look, and a nice block as well from Alvaro onto Noah's ultimate.
Yep.
But look at the lockdown here. The chain CC is just flawless. Jackie's doesn't get an opportunity to move, and now the GIANTX are split up. They look to chase down Noah, who doesn't have anything left. He lost his flash earlier. Jojo secures the double, and now the threat of the Akali quickly diminishes as Jojo quickly rises.
You know, because I saw the TP, and then I didn't actually get to see his health bar because there's so many red bars around it. It was a sandwich, and Jackie's, unfortunately, was that topping that's gone off. I don't know where to go with it, but that's why.
I mean, it's a situation where you can use the lockdown to gain access onto the backline, or you can use the lockdown to prevent the Akali from playing the game. And there are pros and cons to both, right? Because you can throw everything in the kitchen sink to kill the Akali.
True.
But then Ezreal is left untouched, and you're kind of out of tools then to actually lock the Ezreal down later on into the fight. But if you then commit everything onto the Ezreal, are you going to have enough to keep your Corki alive? The risks of Akali having free access. And this is the choice that MKOI will have to make. But in a situation like that, they didn't have to choose at all.
No.
They just hit the target that was in front of them. They one-shot them, and they got the Herald.
Nicer when it's a little bit simpler and you can just turn your brain off, you know?
And I'm excited to see what future decisions they make, because GIANTX's comp is very much about playing front to back and dive, Akali creating a lot of chaos, but mainly allowing Noah the freedom to play around his front line, and he's got a lot of it, right? Poppy also being very obnoxious with things like a Vi and the Ambessa to play. GIANTX have a solid composition to be playing around these objectives, and I think KOI want to leverage the rotations to catch people off guard ahead of these objectives. Finding a pick, finding good chunk damage ahead of the major objectives are the best way to set themselves up for success around these neutrals.
Like something in front of this dragon now. 30 seconds till Infernal spawns. That'll be the soul of this game. Closer is face checking. You were just talking about it. If Closer walks in, KOI are ready to snap him shut and secure that objective even more so.
You're noticing how well KOI is playing around the pressure that they have, because Supa just has so much wave clear. Every time we turn our attention to mid, it's Supa that's pushing that one in, and then Elyoya moving into Fog of War, an area that he and Alvaro have already swept for vision, and it's forcing this darkness to appear on the map. The GIANTX have to face check, and as you rightly said, it becomes a very scary place to check.
Almost stopping the backup while GIANTX commit to this top turret. Looks like they're just going to be trading sides of the map while second dragon for KOI. And what I've noticed after that last play too is the fact that, you know, that mid that was so far ahead, good try, good attempt here from Noah, is now in Jojo's favor. And remember, Jackie's got those 3 kills so early on that it was almost a 1k gold lead. The fact that it's flipped is a testament to how KOI have played their draft, how they've found their picks in this game. That felt like it was starting to run out of hand.
Seraph's also going to provide a hefty shield.
Oh,
to help mitigate that kill threat that Jackie's would have. You'll see the matchups right now. They've actually moved Jackie's over towards Myrwn on the top side of the map. The shielding is going to help a lot when it comes to those short trades that Akali's looking to try and take. But ultimately, MKOI is very happy with how the game is playing out right now. Good pressure along the side lanes. Jackie's, you can see, like, the trades aren't easy against a bruiser on the side lane. And this is making it harder for GIANTX to gain access into the river. You see wards, control wards littered throughout the map in favor of MKOI. And what was a scary start has been a very controlled and steady game that has been well played by KOI so far.
And I see Supa as well with the 1k gold lead. I mean, you talk about controlled. I see a Corki that is consistently prioritized in drafts for good reason. This champ is just so strong at the moment. The range is going to start coming into foray as well. So forget the Ezreal. Start thinking about the guy in a flying pirate ship. As for KOI, They're sitting around Atakan. 21 minutes into the game, Baron's not spawned in conjunction with it, but they're trying to control this river as GIANTX edge a little bit closer towards us. Lot, you said, is coming in closer, flash in with his ulti, and I just talked about how big Supa is. Alvaro blocking in front of his AD carry because he had to. Jun sends him against the wall, but is it too far? Elyoya bopped away. No! The backline was, so for GIANTX, now they've got to win this fight. The all-out from Lot takes Myrwn, who goes too far. I think he's going to dismay them further, but Lot has to clean up in the backside. Jackie's rather to do that on Alvaro. The Storm Surge was close. So for GIANTX, it looked messy, but it was only a 1-for-1.
Yeah, I'm surprised that ended up being only a 1-for-1. The rest of KOI were able to collapse quickly enough to make it harder for GIANTX to find that pick. What's crazy is Supa didn't even use any summoners in that collapse. He just reacted to the Sejuani ultimate with his W and was able to create enough space thanks to Alvaro providing the protection that he needed. Blocking Lot, preventing him from locking him down, and creating enough space that gave Supa the freedom to get out of harm's way.
I mean, again, that was a little bit sketchy because for GIANTX, it looked like such a pick, such a poppy ult. But KOI survive a long time. So for GIANTX, only a 1-for-1 after using 1, 2, 3, 4 ultimates, a couple of summoners in harm's way as well. For KOI, let's see what they can do with the Herald here and then abuse some of those cooldowns.
Strength reinforced secured by KOI. You can see the boots upgrade actually coming through from Jojo. They're trying to escort the Herald into the mid lane.
They are.
I think they're going to get it in range. That they will. That's going to be a tower secured.
Oh, seismic shove close. The turret's down now. Elyoya is thinking about going in.
I think it would be a little too ambitious to make that play. You'd be going away too deep, especially given the positioning of Myrwn there. Like, again, how they control the fog of war, looking for picks, trying to poke away at GIANTX. GIANTX's engage is not the easiest. They're very reliant on Closer to provide that ultimate CC or Lot to find a flank. If you're just standing in a lane like this, the poke advantage that KOI has is going to slowly chip away at you.
Like that, right? All it takes is the pick that you've been talking about all game long. Seismic shove dodge narrowly again, GIANTX in a choke, but KOI are hiding in fog of war in different angles. Jun goes first. Jackie's is not going to step in there by himself. Lot has to be careful. Myrwn runs up. GIANTX run back.
It's a tense affair because right now the only objective to play for on the map is Atakan, and I would say that KOI is spending a lot of time just pushing in mid-wave, not really converting it into anything. They'd love to reset, replenish some of their wards, probably spend some of the gold that they're likely sitting on.
See him.
But the problem with conceding that is this mid tower is still available, and GIANTX have set their sights on it. The reset has come through from Noah as well.
I love it. We've got so many objectives. Teams are like, you know what, we need to fight here because then we can go wherever we want. It's like an all-access pass to Disneyland. Who's going to get it first? Elyoya thinking about his ulti, but it's on the Jun. Meanwhile, ulti goes far from closer. He's dead first. Alvaro's blocked the damage. He flashes, but then dies too, while GIANTX have unleashed their mid laner. A shutdown onto Jojo. And when the fight's scattered like this, Vedius, KOI don't track Jackie's, and Jackie's knows what to do.
I think KOI just overstayed their welcome. They needed to get back to base. They needed to reset, and GIANTX were able to, I guess, punish the indecisiveness from KOI as they tried to maintain control over the mid lane wave. You can see GIANTX kind of shepherding KOI towards the top side of the map, and then KOI said, you know what, let's just engage. Closer is low enough. They split the map on two fronts. Jun disengages. Closer on the front line does get melted, but the damage done to Alvaro is enough, and a good ulti onto Elyoya removes him from the fight, guaranteeing GIANTX numbers advantage, even though they ended up losing a member. They find 2 kills. Again, both go on to Jackie's.
Love the GIANTX watch party. Popping off. We need more drums in the studio videos. Gonna pass
Please,
that
no
on.
more drums. There were so many in Munich. They were so loud.
That was so good. What do you mean? Yeah, the bass drums go hard. So we're going to work on that.
That is their purpose, yes.
Yes, we're going to work on that next week, I think. Are we allowed drums?
I'm banning you from ever touching a drum kit.
Excuse me. You forgot to debut my secession to the LEC ban.
Okay. Well, moving on swiftly before
what?
you can pursue that any further.
That's a shame.
Notice that Myrwn is going to push in the bot wave, rotate up to mid. They're looking for a potential flank angle, but there's no one there to flank. It's an easy push coming out for KOI as GIANTX is now the one being shepherded towards the top side of the map. They do have decent vision on the top river, but there's no one ready to catch this wave. Lot is going to be forced to come up and catch it. Akali continues to push in that top tower, but notice, we haven't talked about it, no outer towers have fallen for KOI.
Onto Noah, pulls that cease and desist, but he arcane shifts away from the flashback from Jojopyun. GIANTX have gotten out, now they're playing their own version of front to back as Jackie's about to come in. Watch the Akali with flash and ulti available to Shuriken Flip to help Noah secure the kill. Alvaro was the front line, but now he's dead.
A bit of an overforce on the dive. They thought that they had caught Noah out, but the idea is Vi plus Ambessa, but Ambessa wasn't there. There was no reliable follow-up, which means that Noah was able to just arcane shift away to safety.
And now they're on the wrong side of Summoner's Rift. KOI have just walked into the trap. But Jackie's now, as he walks towards Supa, knows that he can pick the angle. Lot running in first, he flashes, he slows, and Supa's just going to die. But to who? It's Jun in the end as KOI are making mistake after mistake, and GIANTX are just picking apart the pieces at the seams. No one's going to take the rest of the right side here, while the left burns, but look at him go! The new AD carry of GIANTX is roaring into fire, ready for that 4-0.
A single overforce from KOI turns to disaster as GIANTX keep all 5 members alive and will even convert it into a Baron. I think they even have enough time to get an Arakan to boot, so with a Baron buff plus the GA from Arakan, this feels like that this game may as well be called done.
It really should be, shouldn't it? I mean, a couple of good moments from KOI, but the last couple of fights, the last couple of picks, this GIANTX roster has made KOI dizzy. And even though they're going to try and get towards this Arakan, it's going to be dead before they resurface. Teleport being used towards bot. The best Movistar KOI can get right now is that third Drake.
Use a lot of their tools to try and lock Noah down, but we talked about the risk of leaving the Akali unattended, and you'll see, look at the minimap here. Ambessa is nowhere near the team. He's actually hovering around the Raptors, debating if he should even be with them. Then they collapse onto the Ezreal. A good ulti onto the backline from Closer stops Jojo from being able to follow up. And bear in mind, Akali hasn't joined the fight yet. So once Alvaro gets taken out due to the damage from Noah, now it turns into a 4v5. And why shouldn't GIANTX be confident about forcing this fight? They know they have the numbers advantage, and KOI have just used a bunch of their tools to try and find a pick. Super forced to flash, and now they were able to win out on the fight, and they set their sights on the Nexus of KOI.
And with this Red Bull Baron power play, it's just going to begin here, maybe even end through mid. Close is going to withdraw, but remember, Arakan buff, so they're going balls to the wall, all free for all. GIANTX withdraw after withdraw, but that's one kill. And even though KOI are getting 200 gold a pop, look at the damage being done. They still get one in the bag, and Lot in the end going to try and make it 2, but Arakan used to open up mid.
I mean, overall, a well-played fight from KOI because they ended up only losing a single member. And the worst-case scenario is you lose 2, maybe 3 members, and then, of course, GIANTX are already back out onto the map looking to put some pressure down. They still have the Baron buff. They're going to continue their siege without hesitation as KOI quickly tries to get a reset through, and the bot tier 1 falls.
Just remember, Baron maintains even if you withdraw, so as bot falls down, some of the standing gold now given over to GIANTX, 2,500 Baron power play. And it looks to be the next play as Jackie's are just shepherding mid. Now the level 16 Akali feels untouchable with Zhonya's and that much harder to respond to.
Yeah, I mean, the dive from GIANTX is now that much scarier, right? You've got 3 fully completed items on Lot. He's incredibly tanky. Second item finished for Closer. And this Poppy ultimate as well. We didn't really talk about it much in the draft, but you're seeing how impactful it is in so many of these fights to quickly create a numbers advantage in the fights. GIANTX playing the 4-1, leveraging the power of the Baron.
I love Baron.
The Baron, utilizing the cannon is what I meant to say.
So, wait, hang on. A cannon with Baron is a Bannon.
Yes, it is.
Thaddeus Andrew Day.
It used to be that as well when we had Banner of Command, and you'd use it.
You called it a Bannon, did you?
Well, no, because that would be weird, but a cool name in hindsight.
It is a cool name.
Jack
you don't normally do cool things.
Chunked heavily. I think he might be dead.
Yeah, let's ask, because he still has Zhonya's. Yes, he does, but he's at 1 HP. Ooh. Perfect execution. Thaddeus, that's why you never say never. Justin Bieber taught me that. What is it? What is it? Something about the Bannon again?
I wasn't expecting that.
I don't like the music, but I like the life lessons.
I mean, the good news from KOI is that they're able to stem the siege. The tier 2 towers remain alive for now. And Myrwn is able to force Jackie's back. He didn't end up burning his flash. But now this is MKOI's opportunity to find another way back into this game. Of course, their lockdown, the Vi Ambessa combo is still there. We haven't seen it utilized yet in this game, but Fnatic leveraged that combination to be able to find a pick in their previous game of the day and turn the game around entirely. So we'll see if KOI can do the same today, as a 3k gold deficit is scary, but it's not insurmountable.
No. I think what is kind of scary is if GIANTX give over the last dragon, that would be something that KOI would start flipping around, especially with Taliyah burst, Corki burst as well. A little bit worried here though, because even as Knight's Vows picked up there, almost lost the name from Alvaro, that he gives to Supa. This game so far, Jackie's has started to run amok in the back line. Noah as well with his volatility, versatility, and mobility. Just like long words, Vedius. Is able to threaten that as well. So next objective, Baron, minute 30. Dragon lines up with that timer as well. And remember, GIANTX can't afford to give KOI that Infernal Soul here in this game, because that's when that turning point starts to rear its head again.
Playing with confidence. I've been seeing a lot of great Ezreals this week.
Yeah, you were highlighting Smash backstage.
Super impressive Ezreal performance. Would highly recommend people check that game out.
You said it was one of the best you've seen. You've watched
genuinely,
Ruler and...
It's one of the best Ezreals I think I've ever seen. He was just playing with such crazy confidence.
Yeah.
His Qs, they looked like they were targeted, man. Like it was disgusting. Now they're doing a great job in this game. 4-1 and 3 scoreline, working with Closer. It's crucial here that Closer's playing with him to provide that peel.
True.
Because remember that MKOI, they have such great dive that there's a world where Elyoya could come out of the brush at any moment, throw out that ulti, Myrwn quick to follow. So it's crucial that Closer and Jun are just in the area for Noah to provide that poke down, and he has that extra bit of protection with him. Now the fight for the mid-wave control comes through.
Yep.
Damage on the Closer though.
Remember, it won't matter too much. It takes a little bit more to get through as Gristle and Sedge just hold their ground. For GIANTX, they're on the Dragon side of the map. That's spawning in 3 seconds. They're where they want to be, but look at the mid-wave. Jojo, he has inside access. GIANTX are being stretched for time here. Very smart from the mid laner of KOI as Closer's ult does not connect. So there is a Glacial Prison and a Tomb now down in Gloom. GIANTX against the wall. Flash, it's a double, but they're against it and in a hard spot. GIANTX, 5 members, shifting gears now. That mid-wave gonna be an issue again from Jojo, and KOI are playing with the push and pull quite well.
Yeah, a great call out there by Hysterics. Is the amount of pressure that's being put onto GIANTX right now is a very difficult thing to manage. The Baron is alive as well, but GIANTX, they can't afford to concede control. Elyoya looking for Noah.
They want to play with numbers because Jackie's had to go and get the wave. Now that he's back, though, things become precarious. Jackie's thinking about an angle.
Sejuani ultimate still on cooldown though.
They found him though, and going golden, he buys a bit of time, but a Shuriken flip out is the question. He flashes instead. So, flash from the mid lane carry is big, as the puppy ult was also used by Jun to disengage Jojo and Alvaro.
Elyoya's ultimate being down though is crucial for the lockdown potential that MKOI offer. Lock quickly, looking to go back.
Okay, waiting for that shove to be more impactful, but GIANTX not going to fully commit. Both teams on an edge here as teleport's going to be used.
Oh, the Dragon going to be started off. That's melting pretty quickly. KOI setting up to get themselves the Soul.
True Shot Barrage isn't bad. Lot's going to frontline this, but Soul will just be taking TP in the back as Infernal might just be given over. A big steal needed from Closer, but he doesn't get it. Infernal Soul for KOI is bonus stats for the fight, but now up against the wall. A Glacial Prison is on the grave. Jun is there. They can't escape, but their health is okay. Infernal Soul's done a bit of work as Myrwn now runs out to the charge, and Lot is dead. Jackie's gets to the back line. He's got Permafrost. He misses the Shuriken flip, jumps into his shroud, gets out the perfect execution, but you can see that Noah is the only one alive for good reason. He's done the damage, he's done the poke, but KOI have won the fight so far. Elyoya with a Vault Breaker, flash away by Noah. Poke still there, range is good. Jackie's hits nothing but the Shuriken flip. He will not return. KOI are still in this game, and now they've got the pain of the Infernal Soul.
An exceptional dance from KOI as they're able to secure the Soul and win out the fight. You look at the coordination, the TP comes through from Jackie's trying to get a flank angle, but too much time is spent. They can't get inside the pit. They're zoned away, and it's secured by KOI. Alvaro blocks a lot of damage. Jackie's is looking for a good angle. but the Earth is making it so difficult for Jackies to really get involved in the fight, so they're just playing the front to back. They're leveraging their range. They take out the front liner first. Jun can't really commit to the fight. Noah and Myrwn end up in an exchange on the side, and while Myrwn does fall, the damage has already been done. 3 members survive on the side of KOI, and the soul is secure.
And even though Jackies has 2.5k gold lead, as you said, the Unraveled Earth, Jojopyun in the fight, is becoming hard to navigate. KOI are fighting so hard for this game. GIANTX might be undefeated, but remember that KOI were favorites coming out of week 1 despite their loss to KC in the end. And this team that people are getting excited about, let me just tell you, not too bad of a showing here today despite getting picked off in a couple of those fights. It's 35 minutes into the game. Baron's now spawned, and they like their 5v5 as Elyoya is the first target. Closer gets a good ulti, though, onto Supa in the backline, and everyone's running in. GIANTX getting frontline, though, and Supa is tearing them to pieces. Jojo did a bit of work there. Public execution fails from Myrwn, but KOI had the leg up. No enemy jungler.
The follow-up just didn't come through. Closer got focused down quickly by KOI, and with this frontliner gone, no smite is available, and KOI turn their attention to the Baron.
It's going to go down pretty quick. Noah has to 4v5 this with the rest of his team. The poke from Supa hurts like hell. True Shot Barrage dodged away from 7k. Look at it go down as Noah continues to poke out. The Weaver's Wall zones them out. And at 3k, 1500, Smite still enough. Myrwn zones them off. He's in deep, but GIANTX are backing off. They still can't take the fight. And KOI, no. They're in with a big chance in this game again.
A fight that was forced by GIANTX turns awry, as KOI are able to hold the line and secure the Baron as well. We talked about how that 3k gold deficit was not insurmountable, and just like that, it has disappeared.
And I want to paraphrase one of our favorite co-streamers. If you throw enough fish at a tree, eventually one of those fish will climb it. And that's what we're seeing here. KOI have really thrown themselves at the wall many, many times, and they're starting to climb that tree.
Quite the adage, hysterics.
It was the dumbest quote I've seen. No offense.
Paints quite the picture.
It was so silly.
But it really
true.
emphasizes the point that KOI have done a good job to bounce back now with the Soul, with the Baron. They set their sights on the Nexus, well, the inhibitor towers, I should say, of GIANTX's base.
It could be if they open up mid. I mean, Jackies is looking for a flank, but he's found on a control ward. KOI are still using Supa's poke, and Vedius, the scaling of this Corki, doing a lot of work in these fights. We're going to have to get the damage numbers after this game, as he's got an Infinity Edge now. He's full build, but that control ward slot. As Myrwn's dealing with top, bot doesn't seem to be pushing in, but a wave to look at for KOI, and they're just waiting to use this Baron on the next one, channeling in.
I mean, a lot of credit needs to go to Supa and Alvaro for so much of the success in these fights. Jojo has been utilizing his wall incredibly well, and
like that.
Another great demonstration on our screen. The Unraveled Earth doing some serious work to make it harder for Jackies to play as well. And KOI keeping the flanks wooded in case of any potential deep TPs that could give access for this Akali to attack the back line. 1 tower falls, 2 tower falls, 1 inhibitor, another soon to follow. The Elder going to be spawning in a minute and a half. I wonder if KOI want to keep this pressure up.
Thinking about it. Supa's run out of rockets though. Next minion wave coming in. Cannon's going to start doing work to the Nexus turrets. On the edge sits Elyoya, thinking about his own target as Lot just wants Supa to run into him, but he never gives him that opportunity. Baron manages getting cleared, but Jojo has now escorted another wave in through bot with the rest of Baron. An engaged defensive one from GIANTX is their last hold as Alvaro blocks a True Shot Barrage again. The Winter's bite concussive blows. It works in the end. He gets a shutdown, but you see Myrwn is having none of it. Now on to Closer. The KOI continues swimming upstream, while Lot, he will be slowed, he will be stunned, he will be blasted, and he will be forgotten. 4 members running now through mid with 1 Nexus turret left remaining, and the KOI keeps on going. It's got a strong tail fin and one hell of a dive. GIANTX are dealing with Myrwn, but he flashes. Ambessa, almost. But look at bot. Closer's about to die. Jun's about to die. KOI still gets it done. And in a thrilling conclusion, take down the undefeated GX.
An impressive bounce back from KOI. They played out the game incredibly well with great patience and excellent execution around that soul in particular. At the very end now, I thought Noah was going to be able to save the game, but it was the minions that finished him off. Ambessa did enough damage. You can vote for your key player of the game, Elyoya, Jojopyun, Supa, all great options. And wow, what an impressive performance from MKOI to bounce back in what felt like a lost game.
Honorable mention to Alvaro in there as well on the Braum. Might not make it up to the podium, but definitely well-deserved. As you know, that man in the mid lane too, he has been impressive despite a rougher early start to the game, at least for the first 5 minutes. But KOI make it so. No team is undefeated in the LEC anymore. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to a quick break, but afterwards, Ginny is standing by with the famous Elyoya. Lot again continuing to impress as John is getting in the way. The flash shove ignite. John, you nasty devil, making sure it's light work. In goes Noah into melee range, but he's doing good poke while Jackies gets taken down by Jojo. Big move from KOI. And now with the Weaver's wall out, Noah's still the target. The poke still ranging out, and Noah ends up being the double. KOI with a swift move, taking that play into their hand.
Welcome back, everyone, to the LEC. I'm Ginny, standing by with Elyoya in the Marriott Bonvoy post-game check-in. Congratulations on another win. With that, you completely removed the undefeated team, GX, from that leader table. How has this project been for you? Because we've seen you guys last year, you've changed out your mid laner, you went to internationals, maybe didn't necessarily get the goals that you wanted to get to. So what is different this time?
Well, I think our mentality after Worlds has changed. We have shaped more into a... We are really bad. We need to keep working as much as we can. And obviously the fact that we have Jojopyun is a big upgrade, I would say, in terms of personality and also gameplay. So overall, I think this project is going to be much better than last year's, just because everyone's mindset has changed, and also the incorporation of Jojopyun is going to help.
How has that dynamic been as well? Because obviously he's an English speaker, he's coming from NA, you guys are all Spanish. Has that impacted maybe the comms in any way?
Not much. Like, I think he's still, he's a really hard worker. Just sometimes he's a bit in vacations in his mind, like in the NA vacation, but usually he's quite tryhard, so it's really good to work with him, and yeah, it's also really easy to work with him.
Has there been any philosophies from NA that he brought over to you guys here in EU that you're thinking, yeah, we can use that?
Well, not really, because the philosophy he brought was coming late, which in Spain is already common, so yeah, no, not really.
Okay, good to know. How do you deal with that coming late? Does that impact things?
The coming late? I think so far we are tight, him and me. I think we've both been 3 times late, so we are splitting the bill on the dinner. For me, it's better.
Yeah.
I don't need to charge it all on my account, so yeah.
50-50, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Good to know. How about in-game? Because I feel like the synergy is getting there. Like, the more we're seeing, like, you know, at least you're not both late to the fights.
Yeah, no, I think the synergy is there. First was Hizari 0-5, now it's my Vice 0-5. We're just swapping each other. No, but now being serious, I think we do quite a good job when we're playing well. I think today I really didn't play at my best. Still, we could show some strong performance. So, yeah, overall, I think we were a good 2v2.
Absolutely, and you guys are looking really strong as well. Thank you for taking the time for the interview.
Thank you so much.
The key player of the game is going to be Supa, so, you know, got to give that to him. We're going to be heading over to Finn, who is standing by to talk about the highlights of this game. So take it away.
Thank you so much, Ginny. I'm sitting here with Myrwn after one of the few victories on Ambessa, and I'm just curious how you managed to pull that off. Most people haven't actually been able to win with this champion. What do you think about it?
I mean, I can see, you know, because they are usually picking Ambessa into K'Sante, and K'Sante is also a beautiful design champion from Riot Games. So I can see why she actually loses games, no?
But I can also see that you picked Ambessa into K'Sante, yet you stay winning. How come?
I mean, it's a matchup that it's really good for Ambessa, and I think I'm really good on her. I've been playing her since release, so I'm like really comfort. I know how to make my champion useful. Maybe that's something different from other tops.
Well, that's great to know. Because I have this fight here, where you're standing here in River. You guys are holding this position, trying to bait the enemies into phase checking. I want to ask you, what is your mindset when you hold this position? What are you looking for as an Ambessa right now?
I mean, the thing is, enemy had like 0 vision, we knew. And the pressure that we are doing by like attacking is up, right? Is the most OP objective with the GG. So the way have to phase check, and I'm like kind of holding the Akali flank. I'm being close, so like for example, Vi is going to engage. I'm ready to be in range with my ult to do the combo.
Yeah. Here Akali is walking into you. Are you scared of? Because I imagine here you want to fight with her, but your whole team is backing off, kind of leaving you, making it hard for you to make a decision. So we're gonna see what are you trying to do here now?
I mean, here I would like to fight Akali because I'm hard winning into her.
Yeah.
So it's not like she can actually walk up and get her vision, but we're backing off, so we're like not that much in the same page.
Yeah, because I also agree. I think in the perfect world you can fight Akali here and stop her from doing this to your team. I'm gonna zoom this back because look at what it is Akali is doing here. She just walks right past you and gets onto your team.
Yeah.
And you're saying this is actually their fault because if they were with you, you can actually hold that bush better.
I would say yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of flaming my team here, but that's fine.
I think it's justified because that's the exact same thought I had. So when you play Ambessa in teamfights, usually what are you looking for? Are you looking for CC from your teammates, or are you looking to be the one that goes first?
I think you never go first. More into team comes like K'Sante, Poppy, Sejuani. If you go first, you are gone.
Yeah.
Like you're just gone.
And do you think Vi is like necessarily to be on your team? Like a Vi Nautilus? Because I would imagine Vi Nautilus is really nice because you can just follow up on their ult. But do you think Ambessa can work even without these champions?
I think she can work without. I think these two are really good pairings for her. But like I think like for example, Ivern Ambessa is really strong. Even with Sejuani is really good. So like there's many times you can work around.
Yeah.
But of course, having the CC lock on someone with Vi is actually insane for her.
Yeah, I would imagine that's like a luxury. Because we've also seen like Ambessa being blind picked sometimes to million success. I know there are some answers like Renekton or Rell into it, but do you think these actually matter, or do you think she can hold her own in like a pure 1v1 matchup?
I mean, I think Ambessa blind is pretty bad. I'm hoping for someone to actually blind pick into me.
You have a secret pick into it?
Have like many actually.
Many secret picks that are fine even if you swap?
There's one, it's my favorite.
Oh my god.
I think you have like, okay, like for sure if I pick something like this, people will swap. I don't care. I will do my answer into swaps. I'm fine.
Because Ambessa doesn't like swapping that much either. She's suffering as much as you, or even more.
Like the thing is with Ambessa, should be fine into swaps. Ambessa level 1, level 2 is actually really weak.
Yeah, her cooldowns are so long.
I think level 6 she can like survive many dives, ultimate and everything.
Okay, assuming you don't reveal your secret pick and you have to counter pick Ambessa and solo queue, what is your champion?
I think Renekton is the safest choice.
Renekton is the safest?
You can go Jace, which is like right now Jace is one of the strongest champions, and if you're good on him, you will take over the game probably in solo queue. So
that's a great answer. Yeah. Well, we have to toss now. Thank you so much, Myrwn, for joining me. And next up, we're gonna go to break and watch Vitality versus G2. Thank you so much.
Incredible play there from...
Oh, that was incredible. You love to see it.
Right, yeah, let's really
get into... What a move! He's just so good. I mean, the persistence, the patience to find the angle. You just don't see that from rookies. He's got it all. He's got the bad.
Have a break. Have a Kit Kat.
Ooh, that looks good. Do you want to maybe share a little bit? Yeah.
What a move!
Wait, is he switching lanes?
Red Bull gives you wings.
The human body was built to move. Not trapped at a desk in one singular posture for 12 hours a day. It's time your chair evolved. This is Secret Lab Titan Evo. Ergonomically engineered for you. Gamers, hybrid workers, artists. Backing your every move.